This is Euronews Now. I'm Helena Humphrey. Here are your headlines. Inspectors from the UN nuclear watchdog head to Ukraine's embattled Zaporizhzhia power plant amid fears of a radiation disaster. Pakistan declares a serious climate catastrophe as floods sweep away roads, villages and homes, with more than 1,000 people killed since June. And counting down to liftoff, NASA gets ready to blast off its most powerful rocket ever that'll one day put people back on the moon.
The UN's nuclear watchdog chief says a team is finally on its way to Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The facility has been occupied by Russian forces since February. Writing on Twitter, Rafael Grossi, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, said the team would arrive at the plant later this week. Fighting around the facility in Ukraine's southeast has prompted concerns about a possible accident with global consequences. Both sides have accused each other of shelling the area. Ukraine's security services have even been taking part in exercises on managing the risk of nuclear accidents. On the front line, the constant artillery fire between the warring parties has left many people trapped, but Ukraine's embattled leader remains committed. Ukraine will come back, for sure. Life will come back. The dignity of the people of Donbass will come back. The ability to live will come back. The opportunity to live safely and happily. This is exactly what our Ukrainian flag will symbolize when we set it up in Donetsk, Gorlivka, Mariupol, and in all cities of Donbass, the Azov region, in all regions under Russian occupation, in Kharkiv Oblast, Zaporizhzhia, Kherson Oblast, and for sure in Crimea. Ukraine remembers everything. 6 months into the conflict and there's still no sign of either side backing down, even as the casualties continue to mount.
Russian authorities have named a second suspect they say was involved in the murder of political commentator Daria Dugina, who died in a car bomb attack earlier this month. Russia's Federal Security Service, the FSB, says a Ukrainian citizen, Bogdan Tsiganenko, helped prepare the assassination by providing the main suspect, Natalia Vovka, with a fake ID, fake license plates, and helped assemble the explosive device. Moscow says Tsiganenko arrived in Russia in late July via Estonia and left the country the day before the August 20 attack. The Kremlin has also accused Ukrainian special services of being behind the murder, something Kyiv has strongly denied. Dugina was the daughter of nationalist political philosopher Alexander Dugin. Both were ardent supporters of President Putin's decision to invade Ukraine.
In Pakistan, the threat of more people dying in flooding remains high. Since the start of the monsoon season in mid-June, more than 1,000 people have been killed by the violent storms. 80,000 hectares of agricultural land have been destroyed and millions of people have been left homeless, without food or drinking water. Such is the case of a couple in Baluchistan in the south of the country, one of the worst affected areas. Their house has been submerged by the waters and they've got nothing left.
It's all very sad. All my belongings are submerged, my home inundated. Many parts of my home are damaged. I'm worried. My children are hungry and sick. I'm in pain. What should I do? I regret now why this house was built. Now I think how to feed the children or build a house. Now there's no one that earns a wage.
Almost 33 million people have been affected by the torrential rains, or 1 in 7 Pakistanis. The government has deployed the army in some provinces to help people trapped by the torrents, and a state of emergency has been declared by the Prime Minister. Shehbaz Sharif said the central government's granting 10 billion rupees, or just over 45 million euros, for Baluchistan province, adding that the National Disaster Management Authority, along with provisional government, will plan relief works. Southern Pakistan is bracing for another deluge over the next few days that could see the death toll climb higher. A spyware scandal in Greece is causing serious concerns further afield. In July, an opposition MEP revealed an attempt to hack his mobile phone through Predator, a system that allows the extraction of files and the surveillance of conversations. Now the EU is trying to determine whether the actions infringe upon the bloc's data rules and fundamental rights.
The wiretap cases in Greece have turned up heat on the Greek government during the past weeks. Today, the plenary session of the Greek Parliament will decide on the formation of an inquiry committee that will further examine the conditions under which the phones of a journalist, Thanasis Koukakis, and an opposition party leader, Nikos Androulakis, were tapped. The opposition is asking for answers, and the government hasn't opposed to the formation of this inquiry committee. On Friday, there was a heated debate about this case in the parliament, during which the Prime Minister defended the work of the country's intelligence service, claiming that it is essential to Greece's security, despite admitting that it was a mistake to wiretap an opposition politician's phone. Mitsotakis described the phone tapping of Androulakis as a legal but politically unacceptable operation. The Prime Minister has insisted that he was unaware of the wiretapping of Androulakis, although Greece's National Intelligence Service reports directly to the Prime Minister's office, and taking over this power was one of the first moves of Mitsotakis when he took office back in 2019. The Greek Prime Minister also said in the Parliament that he would not have approved the move had he known about it. Syriza leader Alexis Tsipras heavily criticized Mitsotakis' handling of the issue and accused him of criminal behavior in wiretapping an opposition leader's phone without presenting a specific reason. Tsipras called on the Prime Minister, who faces re-election next year, to resign. Faye Dulgeri, Athens, Euronews.
This community in the Netherlands is in mourning and shock after a lorry careered off the road on Saturday into a neighbourhood barbecue, killing 6 and injuring more. The driver is in custody, but the incident has left locals devastated.
We live in another town close by, and we all heard the sirens, and then we looked on the internet to see what was going on. Then you have a massive shock. This is so huge, what happened. It's terrible for the people, but also for the driver who did this. He surely didn't do it deliberately.
It's terrible. Everybody is affected and mourning with the people here. Nothing ever happens here. There are almost no thefts or anything terrible, and suddenly something like this happened and everybody is suddenly on alert. Everybody is so shocked and everybody in the neighborhood has been affected.
The Spanish-registered lorry ran off the top of a dike in a village 30 kilometres south of Rotterdam. Investigations into what caused the incident are still ongoing. What is known so far is that the driver was not intoxicated and may have been trying to avoid a collision with a van.
US space agency NASA's Artemis 1 mission is still on track for a Monday morning launch, despite a series of lightning strikes on the launch pads. The unmanned Orion rocket is due to travel about 65,000 kilometers beyond the moon over the course of about 6 weeks.
Our team has been excited for a really long time about what they're doing and the way in which they're supporting this program and our ability to get back to the moon and put people on the moon. And so I get to work with a lot of folks that are a lot younger than me these days. I've been around for a while. And to see their faces and to hear their voices and the excitement that they have each and every day, because we ask a lot of folks, as a lot of the programs do, to get us to this point. And they've done an outstanding job.
Artemis is the first step in a program aiming to establish a sustainable presence on the moon to prepare for missions to Mars. Orion is due to launch this morning from Florida's Cape Canaveral spaceport.